Let's go into your reading here. One of the main things that I am feeling is that there's definitely, for those of you who have been dealing with some type of financial worries, financial concerns, you feel like money is not coming in enough, fast enough, or, you know, the amount that you're hoping for hasn't come in. I definitely feel like the money situation is going to alleviate sometime this month. Be very careful about overspending, okay? So I feel like money coming through, or at least something is being alleviated, and then you might, you know, have to pay a lot of expenses, or you might like amp up your spending accordingly. So just be very careful about that, because I feel like, you know, like it's alleviating at the beginning, and then a lot of expenditures, but also it could be because of your birthday time. So just be careful about that towards the end of the month, okay? There's definitely enough. What I'm also seeing is I feel like for a lot of you, there's this sense of like I feel like overcoming a sense of isolation. For some reason, I'm feeling like, you know, for the past 2 months, those of you who have been you know, keeping yourself cooped up in the house for whatever reason, I feel like a lot of people are trying to connect with you or trying to reach out to you. There are travel opportunities that are presenting themselves, but I feel like you're looking at your financial situation and you might not feel that it's viable to take up these travel opportunities. So I feel like you might not go with it, but I do sense that it's going to be very good for you. So if you can, you know, just try to do that, okay? What I'm also feeling is I feel like there is some type of discussion talks happening regarding a very short period away from the household. So I feel like some of you might be moving, or some of you might be traveling for a very short period of time. So I do sense like it's half and half. You know, some of you might be traveling like long term, moving house. Others of you might be just traveling for, I feel like a retreat, a quick getaway, you know, like 3, 4, 5 days maximum is what I'm sensing. Um, in terms of, so I do feel a lot of people are either, somebody might be leaving the nest. So for those of you who have like older children, they might be, you know, going out of the home and establishing their own home. And I do sense as well, there's that sense of, you know, bittersweet kind of energy associated with that. For others of you, I feel like there is some communication coming through, and I feel like it's giving you a little bit of a cause for concern. And what I mean is that you're not really sure how to respond. You're not really sure what to do with the information or how to approach this, because I feel like I feel like you're sitting there looking at this email, this message, or this, you know, communication coming from a person, and you're really not sure about their motives. And I feel like a lot of you might just not respond, or you're sitting there like very skeptically looking at the situation. It is causing you a little bit of worry. I don't feel it's work related. I feel like it's more interpersonal, you know, communication, either through friends, family, or somebody that you actually do care about. But I feel like you're doubting their motives. So I feel like it just sits there. It just sits there, and I don't see anything being done about it. Um, I guess like my advice here is don't overthink it. Just, you know, whatever comes to you from the heart, just go with that, okay? And respond accordingly, because if somebody is reaching out, I feel like it would be in your best interest to try to reciprocate, okay? For others, let me see if there's anything else coming through. I definitely feel like you're overcoming your sense of isolation. So if you have been cooped up, like I said, I feel that this is the month in which, you know, you're feeling quite good, and you're going to start to emerge out of, you know, your lair. You're going to come out and, really enjoy yourself. And I do feel a lot of it has to do with friends and loved ones, reaching out to you. And it could also signify, the solar return when the sun is going to be in your constellation towards like the third week of this month. And I definitely see an energy shifts where you are not really keeping yourself cooped up anymore. So I feel that it's looking quite good, okay? And we have an extra card that came out, so I'm just going to leave those for you guys. All right, so let's go into your reading here. You've got the Tower once more. You got it last month, and I'm going to pull out an additional card. But I definitely see some house move associated with this one this time, okay? It's definitely like more related to housing situations. So let's talk about this here. The first thing out of the spread here is the Six of Wands as well as the Nine of Wands. Now, the Nine of Wands, I believe this energy showed up for last month. There is a situation here where you have been battling for quite some time. For some of you, it could pertain to some type of legal dispute, okay? Long-running legal dispute. For others of you, it might definitely relate to some type of like financial arrangement where you and the other person feel as if you feel like you're giving too much, the other person feels the same way, vice versa. So there has been a situation that you've been in a stalemate about, okay? And the Nine of Wands comes out to tell you to not shy away from this conflict and to push through it. It requires one last push, and you're going to be able to achieve a very, very good victory for yourself, okay? So both of these cards coming in together in tandem, especially at the very, very beginning of the spread, both indicates to me to remind you to just keep at it, keep going, you're on the right track. There might be a little bit of obstacle and opposition in your way, but you're going to push through it and you're going to be quite victorious in this endeavor, okay? If it has been a long-standing stalemate or some ongoing issue with another person, I do feel that the energy is going to start to clear up for you, okay? For some of you, I feel like there might be some situation regarding the work environment where you are in the public eye. You are like you have to be on your best behavior, you have to behave a certain way, and you feel like it's really, really not jiving with the person that you believe yourself to be. So this is a situation where our public image, the things that we do for a living, the way that we have to live our lives, the scrutiny that, our professional colleagues, supervisors, and things like that, they're putting us under the microscope. They're kind of like dissecting our lives, and we're really like restricted as to how we're supposed to behave and how we're supposed to project ourselves. And as a fixed sign, you are very, very, you aim to be very true to yourself. And I do feel that, the whole thing about how can I authentically live my life in a way that doesn't, conflict with the work that I do, or that is still true to me while maintaining, that nice professional work image, okay? So I feel there is a little bit of a conflict of interest coming through between personal life and private life, and trying to find a way to, I guess, like barricade what you do in your personal life. So like I feel like insulating your personal life so that it doesn't affect your public life or your professional life. And I also feel like a lot of you are at a point where you are rebuilding your professional and your public image. So you are trying to convey yourself in a specific way to target a specific audience. So I do feel that this is a very, it seems to me like a little bit restrictive, because you're really careful about what you're saying, the things that you do, because I feel like it's a little bit of an uncomfortable feeling for you to be under the microscope, to have to behave and curb your behavior, in order to cater to your professional image, okay? So there's a lot of pressure on you, but I definitely feel that you are going to be victorious. And I also feel like there's an energy here, especially for those of you who are in the limelight, who are in any type of a profession where you have to get on stage where other people look up to you. I feel like, especially if you're like a teacher, for example, politician comes to mind, teachers, people that have to, speak in front of an audience on a daily basis. I definitely feel like you're careful, very, very selective as to who you hang out with, who you associate yourself with, and how you project yourself. Okay, so this is not a bad combination, but I definitely feel like it requires a little bit more of tweaking from your end. Okay. What's coming through next year is the Death card associated with the Star. So we've got some very, very, you have, let me see, you have 5 major arcana cards. So this is going to be another very powerful month for you, okay? Um, this is a little bit of a strange combination, okay? So let me just go through it. The Death card indicates a situation where it has been very, very transformative, and I feel that you're leaving something behind to embark on a new phase in your life. And this move is irreversible. I don't feel there's any other way to, I guess, get around this, okay? So there has been something in your life that you are going to have to, I guess, leave behind so that you can move forward, and you can move forward in a better manner. What I'm also feeling is, this is innately your card. So when it's coming out in your month, especially, it signifies that life lessons are coming through, okay? And these lessons don't have to be hard, but they are a little bit challenging in that they are forcing you to be a little bit more like authentically true to yourself, okay? So the Death card is the card of Scorpio, and the Death indicates like situations that can be very, very extreme. So once you cross over that threshold, you can't really go back. Once you say something, you can't really backtrack on your words. So there's a lot of like, I feel like opposite ends of the spectrum energies coming through. You might be in a position where you have to defend your beliefs against people that are diametrically like opposed to you, and you have to like persuade them to your point of view. Okay, you have to battle, or you have to do it in a way where, it's like soft power versus hard power. You're going to have to do it in a way where you feel like just you have to get your point across by being diplomatic, by being persuasive, but at the same time, you have to be a little bit ruthless so that people understand that you are serious. So I guess like managing, don't err too much on the side of extremes. Aim for a little bit of a middle ground, and I do feel that you're going to be quite successful. Okay, so whatever you say this month, I feel like whatever you say, it's going to be, you're going to have to like, follow through with it. Whatever you do, you're going to have to like either do it all the way or drop it altogether. Okay, so this is a month of extremes. I don't feel it's bad. I do feel that it is a very powerful month where you can regain things that you have lost, and you can regain your power and your sense of freedom. Okay, so there is a little bit of a, last leg of the journey type of a push, and you're going to have a huge victory as well. Now, the Star card comes in when it guides us in our life's purpose or our life's direction, okay? The Star is a card about major healing, and I do feel like it, especially if you have been in a situation where your public image or, your sense of self-worth has been either corroded in whatever way by whomever. In the past, there might have been, you might have been put in situations, especially professionally or personally, where the other person made you feel less than, where you felt like you weren't good enough. I definitely feel like there is this massive restorative energy coming through that will allow you to break out from restriction, break out from under somebody else's control so that you can reclaim your power. And the wish card also indicates, like major milestones in one's life being reached. Okay. So when I see this card, I usually think about like on the professional front. Um, if in the past you have been like kind of ruminating around or kind of like dithering with multiple projects and you're just like, I don't really know how to push this forward, how to move along, and I don't really know, what is my life purpose? What is my sense of direction? Like, where am I supposed to go? Everything seemed very vague, and it seemed like you were kind of fumbling around in the dark, trying to figure out, what is the right path for me. I feel like with this card here, it indicates to you that a new path is basically lit for you, and you're very, very intuitive. So you automatically know which way to go. But by forging ahead with where you're meant to be, I feel like a lot of you know that this is a irreversible change to light, that sense of purpose, that sense of direction. It came into the picture, but I feel like a lot of you might not have been prepared or brave enough or ready to forge ahead. And this is the month in which you're not going to have a choice. You're going to have to leave this behind in order to forge ahead, okay? So these are very, very good combinations. It basically means that Scorpios, you're definitely on the right track, okay? And a long cherished dream is going to be achieved. I do feel for many of you, it is on the professional front. I feel like somebody is trying to reach out to you to repair some damages. That's what I'm sensing. But I feel like the damage has been done. You forgive them. I feel that. I do sense that, you forgive them, but you don't want them in your life. That's what I'm sensing, okay? It seems to me like this is an ongoing issue. So damage is done. Too much has been done. And I feel like you're moving on, okay? Now, what's coming through in terms of communication here? Oh, okay. In terms of communication here, we do have the Three of Swords as well as the Nine of Cups. So going back to the initial message that I mentioned, I feel like you're getting a much belated apology. You're getting something in terms of communication that deals with, an esteem boosting type of a communication. So like uh, for example, if you've had like a conflict in the past with another person and they never ever apologize to you, I feel like that apology is coming through and it's making you feel quite good. It's sort of like, I knew it, I was right, but I feel like you might not respond to it. And then for others of you, you might be getting some type of communication that makes you feel quite good, okay, overall. Some type of communication from somebody that you've had a lot of like emotional or physical distance from, or you have distanced yourself away from, and you're feeling, quite smug and quite good about it. For others of you, there is a separation here on the emotional front. And I feel like if it was a very, very toxic type of an interpersonal relationship where the other person knows exactly how to push your buttons, or they have a penchant of getting under your skin, or they can be like very, very sharp and cutting, and I feel like even they know how to cut you. They know what to say to get you to do exactly what they want you to do. They know how to guilt trip you. I feel like if you have been dealing with that, I definitely see a severance and a separation from that person. So there's a physical separation. It's good for your emotional health. I feel that you're not going to be heartbroken over it because, the cup's energy represents you, and I feel like you're getting the last word, or at least, whatever has been separated from your life it's actually going to be more beneficial for you to move forward, okay? So you're coming up on top this month, and we have, the Nine of Wands as well as the Nine of Cups, which indicates to me that, things are gradually being left behind and things are closing up. So you're closing up you're closing some doors to people. You're slamming some doors shut, and you're starting on new projects. You're starting on new relationships, okay? So this is a major transformative month. What else is coming through here? And this is a very, very good combination too. So we got the Death card, which basically means endings, right? Endings. And now we have the Judgment card, which basically means, new beginnings. And what the main message I'm getting from this card is, I do feel a lot of communication coming through. Communication from all kinds of people, professional contacts, friends, acquaintances, family members, just, left and right, you're being hit by a lot of messages. And this tends to happen, I feel, especially during birthday time when we hear from people that we haven't heard from, wishing us well, hopefully wishing us well. But I do see a lot of contact with family members, especially. So I do feel a lot of messages coming back and forth. And I feel like, some messages, like I mentioned, they came in and they might just sit there. You might not know how to respond. You might not want to give it the time of day, or you might not feel like, you know what, I don't know how to respond, so I'm just going to let it sit. Let it sit in my inbox, let it sit in my voicemail, whatever it is. I definitely feel that coming through, okay? And also with the Judgment card, it brings about new beginnings. And for many of you, this can be a culmination to a long-standing struggle. I feel like for a lot of you, if you've been struggling with either court cases, quarrels, disputes, or a situation that has been, ongoing for the past 6 months, I feel like you're dropping it and you're heading in a different direction altogether. A lot of you could just physically be moving home. You're gathering up all of your things. You're moving into a new environment. If you have already done this in the month, maintenance people to finally work on your house, to fix things, to repair some things, okay? But I definitely feel like a lot of movement, communication back and forth, as well as new home environment. And we also have the Three of Cups. Now, this combination greatly signifies to me, well, the Judgment card in the Three of Cups, it's celebration with friends and family, okay? A lot of celebrations, a lot of situation where also, if you have been working really diligently, hard, or, just hard at work on a project, I definitely feel this is a celebratory energy that basically means, your project is being wrapped up, is being done, and item that you're hoping to publish, that you're hoping to implement, something that you created. I feel you spent a lot of time on it, possibly the last 10 months. And you're bringing it to an institution to see if they want to publish it, to see how they feel about it. You're getting very good feedback. So you're getting communication about something that you have done, and you're getting approval, okay? So really good energies overall. I definitely feel, the Three of Cups also indicates your dating life, your social life opening up as well. This is a card, based on this deck. I do feel like there are a lot of options that are made available to you, okay? The people that you're coming across in terms of your social circle and your dating circle, I do sense that they're going to contribute to your professional life as well in some way. So they're not just, random people that you're dating. You're dating a higher caliber of people, and they're also going to contribute. Like they might be very established in their field as well. So they are going to contribute more to your professional life as well, okay? We have the Tower here, so I'm just going to draw out 2 cards for you before I go further. So what does the Tower pertain to? Okay, so you've got 3 cards again, Scorpios. First of all, we have potential for new job here or a financial windfall coming through. So the Tower is basically, indicating something that has been built on faulty foundation. It is going to break down, okay? It's linked up here with an air sign. What I feel is there is something very, very unexpected happening with the Tower as it pertains to an air sign, an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra. And I feel like there's something, they could be getting a new job, you could be getting a new job, and I feel like something really unexpected coming through where it's very last minute. And I do feel as well there's going to be some sense of like, I feel like either a distance, physical or geographical or emotional distance, that divide is being bridged between the two of you. So I feel like for a lot of you, this is very, very positive because, with the Two of Wands in the reverse, I feel like whatever it was in the past that never got off the ground, there's going to be some communication that comes in very swiftly as it pertains to like personal projects, work, professional life, okay? And it's linked up here with an air sign. So I know that sounds vague, but that's what I'm getting here. So let's just go through the advice cards. So you have the Sun here, and the Sun is basically, public image. It indicates success, it indicates abundance, and it indicates overall a sense of feeling very good about ourselves. In this deck, what I'm getting here is once again, your public image is on display. I feel like somebody is monitoring or someone is very, very cautious about what you say, about what you do. So you're under a lot of scrutiny, but I don't feel it's in a bad way. Okay, I don't feel that it's in a bad way. And it relates to a situation where you have to be very, very cautious about how you say certain things, how you present certain ideas, okay? And it's linked up with your professional life. So you're going to get a lot of positive reception in the professional front for this month. The Tower, once again, indicates a situation where if there has been a faulty foundation, it's going to crumble. And this indicates, major, swift, sudden changes. When it comes in, we don't even know, what happened. And with the Strength card, it basically means for you to not jump to conclusion. Don't jump to conclusion. Ride it out a little bit more. Push forward a little bit further, okay? So if I were to lay these cards out, for example, this one came out first. What I definitely feel here is that for some of you, the current job that you're in, you might realize that you might realize that it's not as stable as it seems, okay? And I feel like for others, you might get recruited for another job. You might get headhunted for another job. You might have another job on the side that you are doing. And you might be offered like a full-time gig. So that means you might have to leave the current job for a different job altogether. And I feel like you're doing the mental math in your head, okay? You're doing the math. And you're just like, well, this situation is not that good anyways. There might be some contracts keeping you there. So you might be hesitant about going ahead with the new job, even though the new job is going to be very lucrative. It's going to pay well. And it might even require a massive move from your end. And I feel like this is a situation that you've been yearning for quite some time. And you might not feel like it was within reach, but somehow for this month, I definitely feel that there's some communication coming through regarding, the viability of this option that you've been eyeing for quite some time. I feel like there is an air sign in your life that is going to be a catalyst for major transformations for this month, okay? So Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra, and we do have the card with the star here, which indicates Aquarius. So there is an air sign in your midst that is possibly proposing something, or that is going to be bringing about a major catalyst of change in your life. And whatever the offer that they are bringing to the table, I definitely feel sincerity. Stability is their aim. So I don't feel like you have to worry about, hidden motives, hidden agenda. I also feel like the offer is very solid and it can be built upon. But they're telling you that, this situation, basically telling you to work up the courage to go with this situation, okay? So let's go into your love reading, Scorpios. Okay, so let's see what's in store for Scorpios for love and relationships. Can you show me what's going on for Scorpios? Oops. Okay. So this is how I'm doing the reading now, no reversals, and I'm still trying to find a way to devise like a love spread that can limit the love reading to like 15 minutes. And the best way so far in the past has been the Celtic cross spread, but that takes too long to go through. So this is the modified version. It's slightly, shorter. But let's go through. I feel like the overall theme here is resurfacing, okay? So once again, you have the Death card. This is your card, and it's an eye-opening, life-changing, defining moment. And I feel like who's there for you, and you know who your true comrades are, okay? And I feel like this energy is also permeating through your love life. You know where you stand with people, and you know who means a lot to you. So I feel like this is not the month where you can make decisions lightly, because I feel like a lot of you have closed some doors to the past. Some of you have had to slam them shut. And this energy is very, very good overall for, moving on. So I definitely feel this major period of transition is happening in your love life, okay? Let's talk about the past, because this is very important. So we'll start out here with the past. We have the Five of Coins. And the Five of Coins shows up, first of all, in a love reading. It usually means a situation where I feel like a lot of you had been in a relationship where you felt very alone and you felt very isolated, okay? So that means you could be with another person, but I feel like your interests, your goals, your aspirations were not aligned. So you couldn't really have these deep-rooted thoughts and conversations with another person to the point where they would understand where you're coming from. For others of you, in the quest for, financial stability, you and your partner were kind of like so caught up in the whole, keeping up appearances, keeping up with, just like making enough money in order to sustain that family unit, in order to sustain taking care of, elderly parents. And I feel like you drifted apart from one another because your thoughts and your energies were converted towards, making ends meet, making a lot of money, generating a lot of wealth. But as a result of it, you might have neglected your love relationship, okay? And over time, I feel like you drifted apart. So I definitely feel like the element of, finances over true emotional connections had been a major, major problem in the past when it comes to your love relationships. It's linked up here with the Page of Wands. So what I feel is this. A lot of you might have been in situations where, physically, sexually, it was a very exciting, very gratifying relationship. But I feel like the person that you were with was not emotionally nurturing to you and your. A lot of you have many, many offers. Okay, this is kind of like the person who is sequestering him or herself. They have, I feel like they have retreated into their own space. They're getting a lot of solicitations, a lot of offers coming through left and right, but they were trying to do some healing. They didn't feel like they were worthy. They just didn't feel like, in their A game. So even though all these offers were coming through, they didn't trust it. So I feel like a lot of you had offers, but you didn't trust the others, in the other people's intentions, or you were in a space where you felt emotional lack and you felt like you weren't worthy of it. You weren't sure of other people's intentions. You weren't sure if they were playing with you, if they were toying with you, because deep down you are very skeptical. So I feel like that's what was happening for some of you. We have here the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands usually indicates some type of a very good, light-hearted communication coming through, where somebody's trying to coax you to, come out from your lair and come and experience life with them. So this can be, offers for going out dancing, offers for dates, offers for friendships, or just offers to get you to leave leave this dark hole in order to, have some fun. And you were like skeptical because I feel like you don't know their intentions. So I feel like that might have been the message that I got, where at the beginning I was like, you got some message. You don't know the intentions, so you just let it sit there. My advice here is that I feel that, if someone took the time to write you something, it's really important and it's good etiquette overall to respond. However, if in the past you have written that same person something and they never responded, then then it's fine, don't bother. But if it's like a new person and they take the time, at least explain yourself. I feel like that might be that might ease up the communication confusion between the two of you, okay? So we have lots of offers and we have you feeling a little bit better this month. So I feel like that takes us to the present moment. We have the Ten of Cups as well as the Two of Coins. So the Ten of Cups is a situation that indicates, feeling in a very, very good emotional space with another person. This is a card where we feel like we found somebody that really understands us on a deep level. And we can have, like a lot of emotional conversations with. We can have I feel like you both are on the same page. You don't have to over explain yourself. They just get you. And I feel like a lot of you have met somebody like this, or for this month, you are going to meet people who are very much in sync with you on an emotional level. It's linked up here with the Two of Coins. The Two of Coins indicates, somebody who's juggling multiple options. So I feel like you might encounter many people who have this same energy. And as a result, you have an abundance of options to choose from. And in particular, you might just be narrowing down your options to two people, or you have at least, two people that are on your plate, or that you're communicating with, who make you feel quite elated, okay? So these are good combination. So the foundation here is the existing situation on which this love situation is built. So the foundation is something that you already know. We have the Five of Swords and the Nine of Swords. So I feel, honestly, Scorpio, I feel like some of you are juggling multiple people, and you're kind of worried. I feel there is a little bit of anxiety and a little bit of worries from your end here with the Nine of Swords, as to, what am I going to do? How am I going to continue to juggle this? or who do I choose? So I definitely feel some anxieties about what to do here. And I'm getting an element here where you're dealing with somebody who is a little bit playful but kind of devious. I don't mean that in a bad way. I feel like you don't understand. Like, it's exciting, the communication is very, very exciting. But I feel like there's something about the communication between the two of you where I feel like you don't know what the other person is thinking. You don't know if they're being sarcastic. You don't know if they're upset. So it's like, if you are doing this via text or emails, it's extremely, enhanced, mainly because you can't really gauge facial expressions. You can't really gauge sarcasm or humor. So it's best to have a telephone conversation, is what I'm feeling. Okay, so do it the old-fashioned way. Have a sit-down talk, or communicate via telephone, so that you can at least listen to their tone and understand where they're coming from. But I feel like you're dealing with someone who's a little bit playful, who's a little bit devious. I don't feel like devious in a bad way. Like, they're not deceptive. I don't sense deception. I feel like you might be the one juggling. You might be the one juggling, and you have somebody that you like, but you don't really know their intentions. I feel like a lot of, like, trying to figure out a person, trying to understand a person, trying to wrap your head around a person. So I feel like that's what's coming in. There's a lot of communication, but I feel like it's, I feel like on the one hand, you're dealing with somebody who is sarcastic like that, and you don't really know what's going on, and you don't really know what to do. And you might just have a lot of options coming through, and you feel like you need to narrow down choices. You need to narrow down your options. A lot of you have, like, 2 or 3 suitors, and they're starting to give you ultimatums. That's what I'm feeling, okay? For others of you, you might be dealing with another person here, and where there is some communication from somebody from the past, possibly regarding money, finances, like somebody that you might still be involved with. And there are some, if you're in a relationship, I feel like there are some exes, if you have children with them, soliciting you for some type of a financial, rearrangement regarding taking care of elderly parents, taking care of children, things like that. And if you're in a relationship for this month, I definitely feel, some flirtation coming through from other people to you or your romantic partner, and it's causing some type of concern within your relationship. So just be very careful with that energy. I feel like with the Five of Swords, this is a situation where, it's an empty victory. One person walks away with the spoils of war, and the other person ends up empty-handed. So you want to be a little bit fair and a little bit more, I guess, like less extreme when it comes to dealing with conflict, okay? So the crowning energy is something that you've been thinking about, okay? It's something that you want, it's something that you're trying to manifest. We have the star, and the star is basically a wish fulfillment, okay? And the star is basically wanting to be in a situation where you feel good, where you feel like, the skies are opening up, that you want to be with the one that adds value to your life. And I feel like for this month, you're getting a lot of those energies. With the Ace of Wands here, the Ace of Wands indicates brand new people coming through, brand new sparks of passion, of excitement, of like, I feel like you're going to be feeling very amorous this month. The people that you are meeting or the people that you are with, they spark you, they bring about a lot of inspiration. They spark you off sexually, but also I feel like you really will like them as people. So it's not just, a lustful situation. I feel like they bring with them a lot of wisdom, a lot of wise counsel, a lot of good advice. There is a very strong humanitarian and friendly energy where you actually like the other person and you can see yourself being with them for the long haul, okay? Both of these are really good, and I feel like this is what you're trying to manifest, and this is what you really want to go ahead with. I feel like you're dealing also with somebody who's very fair. Like they're very just, very fair. They care about higher ideals. They care about the world. They care about humanity. So you're dealing with someone who has a very big heart, okay? What's coming in here? And this is, we have an air sign, and air signs have been showing up for all signs. I've done 4 so far. I recorded them on different days. And air signs have been shown up all over. So this is an Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising. With the Queen of Swords here, this is somebody I feel that is a little bit unconventional. Okay, so if you look at her hair, she's like, I'm getting a very strong Gemini vibe with this person, but overall it's an air sign. It's somebody who's a little bit unpredictable. They're a little bit quirky. They're very, very strong with their words and with their mind. They have a very, very sharp tongue. I feel like they're very witty. They have a dry, sarcastic sense of humor. And they like mental debates. And I feel this person is coming through with an offer of love. Okay, so we have here the Page of Cups. So for some of you, you might be getting an offer here from an air sign. You might be dealing with an air sign, or you might be exchanging a lot of love communication specifically with an air sign, or the air sign is coming through to give you some type of a affirmation that, you know, they are interested. Okay, so I do feel it's going to be a very good month. For others of you who are already in solid established relationships, I feel like this combination indicates to me some type of communication breakthrough and some type of a revival in your love life, and it's going to be in a more meaningful way. So communication is going to be a lot more lighthearted, but I feel like it's going to be more philosophical. So it's not going to be like, you know, a troublesome situation where you talk and things get really tense and you know, you get a stalemate. I don't sense that. I do feel that it's going to be, you know, something where there's going to be communication breakthroughs. Communication is going to flow between you and another person. So I do wish you the best, Scorpios. Take care of your can be found in the description box below. Visit my website. The online calendar is on there as well, just to save you time. Appreciate it. I wish you the best. Take care of yourself and enjoy your birthday time. Bye bye.